positive energy and good vibrations from me to you. You have now tuned in to the Imperfect Fathers Podcast.
Yo, what it do, positive energy, from me to you, it's your boy, RJD the Imperfect. And yeah, this is another dope episode of the Imperfect Fathers Podcast. Yo, Kings, what it do, man?
What up, what it do?
What's happening?
Welcome back,
Going on,
family,
people?
for another week of the Imperfect Fathers Podcast. It's your boy KB, shooting live from Ohio, Cincinnati, where the sun is finally back out. I was looking for moving companies. I promise. I was on my way back down south, but the sun decided to come out. Mr. Sun, Mr. Golden Sun.
Mr. Golden Sun.
You understand me? We out here.
All right, daddy songs, you heard?
You hear me?
Yo.
Johnny.
It's Jerry. Back at it with another one. Feeling real good today. A little rainy, but normal Florida type of personality.
Right. The Florida
Raining
vibe.
for 5 minutes and the sun
Florida,
right back out.
Right.
Ain't rain didn't even go nowhere. It's just raining while the sun's out. Just
Word. Rain, like, I don't care what time it is. You might have to move over.
Care none.
Ready or not.
Yo, D, what up, man? Say it up to the people over there. You sitting back.
Man, what's going on, people, man?
Like you want to talk to
man,
us.
I'm still here making sure that these kids don't get out this closet. You know what I mean? Got to keep them locked in restraint, man.
You gonna have them calling people on you, man.
Nah, they will not take over the asylum.
What?
Huh? niggas gonna be at his door like that.
For real.
Nah, man, another good week being a father, enjoying the dad life. Blessed to have my kids, man, and blessed to be around people like you guys, man. I had a great week. Learned some new things. For the most part, man, another week being blessed out here, being a dad, man, having fun.
Yo, listen, that's what it's all about, and it's phenomenal to be back here, man, on this platform to come to you guys again. Yo, we appreciate this. What we need you guys to continue to do is always like, comment, and share this podcast. Continue to get the word out there. Smash that like button and that subscribe button. That's how we get our digital currency, and it helps the podcast grow tremendously. But you guys know around here we gotta do certain things, and those things are pay our bills and talk to our Father. So with that being said, Heavenly Father, we thank you for another week. We thank you for our lives, our health, our strength, everything that we have about us, oh God. We thank you right now because life itself is all working together for our good. So right now, through all our experiences, through all our tests and our trials, we are grateful for them all. So right now, God, we ask you to look over us as we go across these airwaves, that we may say the right thing to help somebody in the right way. These things are our prayers in the Master's name. Amen.
Amen.
Yo, around this podcast, though, the podcast, it has consistent sponsors. I'm going to have a brain fart. Having consistent sponsors over at the podcast. Listen, for all your music needs, check them out. It's Now or Never Entertainment. Whether it be hip hop, gospel, R&B, you name it. The producers over there are phenomenal, and they have a dope catalog. So whatever kind of music you need for whatever project you may have, go check them out. And if you shop smart and you want to have a discount, use the word Imperfect at checkout, and you'll receive 50% off on any beat in the beat store. Hear me when I'm telling you, that's 50%. You get half off on any beat in the extensive catalog. So shop smart, shop black, shop It's Now or Never Entertainment. Now, another paid sponsor of this beautiful podcast, KB right now is currently wearing, Dave will be wearing, and so will Jerv. And I'm just in the middle of doing laundry, so I'm not wearing Cassie's Classic Design, man. Listen, for all your print needs, whether it be shirts, hoodies, cups, you name it, Cassie's Classic Design. Whoa. Cassie's Classic Design for all your print needs, man. Listen, hit her up on Instagram. It's Cassie's_classic_design, or get at her directly at Gmail on Cassie'sClassicDesign@gmail.com. Yo, fellas. So I'm so used to saying, Troy, do your job. I can't wait till he bring his ass back. Right. Scoop all self. All I have to do is doing making money driving trucks. Shoot, I wish we had like a sound room we could put it in the truck so we could just have the conversation and still hear it. But
Yeah,
anyway,
unfortunately, he needs to hear the drivers honking. Like,
right, that's all we gonna hear. Yo, but last week we spoke about emotional intelligence, man, and one thing I've learned, fellas, if I speak about it across a platform, I'm going to be tested in it. I'm going to have to deal with it. So, like majority of my life, I've understood this and I've seen it in real time. So last week we spoke about emotional intelligence, having the ability to hone the emotions, right? Understand them, use them for your ability, use them for your good and the people around you, for the most part. And last week, I had a situation, right, that we all know about that I now have the liberty to speak about legally. So, well,
change your name to John Wick.
yeah, I'm trying to be uh pretty serious on this one. I don't as much as possible, but these fellas are not gonna let it happen. So I'm gonna just tell a story quickly. So last week, me and my wife on Mother's Day went outside and was doing something with the flowers. She wanted her flowers to have more sunlight. And during the incident, I mean, not during the incident, while we were in the midst of doing that, the neighbor's dog, who's never on a leash, right, consistently running through the neighborhood, just one of those dogs. So
Terrorizing the neighborhood.
he's never, but and up until this point in time, I've never had an issue with him. So it was just like, you look at me, I look at you, you go about your business, I go my way, right? So just this one day, I put the flower out on the corner, and as I'm walking back towards my house to walk in the door, I look over my shoulder and see the dog get ready to pee in the flower. So I'm like, "Hey, don't do that. Get out of here." Right? Like don't do that. Like get out of here. Yo, the dog went buck wild. You hear me? Like I'm like, "Yo, whoa." So now I'm bugging. So I grab the broom. Like now I'm trying to fan him back because he's coming at me. So I'm swinging the broom at him, and I'm like, "Yo, get out of here! Get out of here! Beat it!" So after a few minutes of dancing with this broom, I run in the house. Now I gotta be very honest.
Uh-oh.
No, I gotta be very honest. In that moment,
Excuse me. Be general, please.
yes, I will.
We need to make sure this pass is legal.
Right. Um, I was actually and had an intent on going in my house and grabbing my firearm,
Mm.
but of knowledge of law, right? Knowledge of my emotional state, and my wife looking me dead in my eye and saying the word no.
I
All
think
right.
C.
Gotta
I
do
think
it.
C. I think C might have been the determining factor. But go
Yeah.
ahead. Continue.
So I decided to go in the room and try to cool off. I realized now here we go. Now we're into the emotional intelligence point of it. I realized at this point, guys, I am not in the state to be able to calm myself down. Like I am so angry at this point. I'm walking back and forth in my closet in my room, just trying to calm myself down, and I can't stop. Like the moment I walk out of my door, I see myself running out at the house going to get it. So I said, you know what? No, I'm gonna go work out. I called Dave immediately, like, yo, listen. And this was my voice. And David, correct me if I'm lying. I'm like, yo, I need to work out now. Like
Calm killer voice.
word, like I just need to work out. See? So he was like, yo, I'm over here making up the potion right now. Like I'm on the way. I say I'm on the way. So as I get with Dave being level-headed as he is, he's like, bro, we're grown now. Call the police. Do things the right way. I'm like, this is why you need the wolf pack. This is why you need a team of people around you that's going to help you, right? Instead of harming you by giving you wrong information. So Dave was right.
Clutch.
Call the police. So and the fact that I was calling in still such an irate state, I called, and I'm just trying to tell him the whole story. Dave is like, yo, chill, calm down. And I'm watching myself too, pretty much out of control. The person over the phone, obviously a good dude that loves, like that knows that knows what the power of working out. I said, you know, I'm on the way to the gym. He goes, you know what? Yeah. Go work out, call us back, and we'll meet you with the report.
Bro, I ain't even gonna hold you. I don't even mean to interrupt you though. It's kind of y'all MOs though. When New York niggas telling a story, they tell a story. You hear me? When New York niggas is telling a story, nigga, they telling
Tell
a
the
story.
story, my nigga.
Like, yo,
It's-
the dog was at the door. I told the dog to
Boy.
move. The dog wouldn't move.
Yeah, you got painting the picture.
I want everyone to see it, right? Because this is literally why we, like you said before, we got graves full, hospital beds full, prisons full, right? Our corners full, like of just people that just didn't get it, doesn't have the emotional intelligence to make these decisions at the right time. So during the situation, I'm sorry, we were in the car on the way to the gym. So we got the phone with the police, and me and Dave worked out about 2 hours. So you guys can imagine, if we worked out for 2 hours, I should pretty much have been calmed down and relaxed and like, you know what, level-headed.
Testosterone levels down.
All, Jared, talk to me. You know what I mean? I'm cool. I've exerted the energy I needed to exert. So now, go to drop Dave off. And now I'm on the way back to the crib. Get to the house. I don't see the dog nowhere. So I'm like, oh well, cool. I'm thinking either the dog is up the block doing what it's doing, or somebody let up the dog in the house. I go outside. I make the report. The police is like, all right, we're going to send somebody over there. It's not an emergency. We'll send somebody in time. No doubt. Around that time, it's time for me to go to church. So I had to go to church. I leave, come back. Now that's when the story gets interesting. When I come inside, when I pull in the driveway, I see the dog now. And the dog
he was waiting for you. Hold up. What kind of dog are we dealing with here?
Yo, this is like a mutt. Like
oh, all right. One of them mixed breeds. You know?
Yeah, it's just, and it's the size and structure. The statue is a small, mutt, unkept dog. That's the description of it. Because I don't. First of all, it was so well unkept that you couldn't tell the nature of the dog, the speed, the type of the dog. Seriously. So, but Jerv, seriously, that plays a part in the story. So I'm glad you said that. So I go in the house now. It's me seeing the dog in front of the house, right? Me now realizing like, oh, this nigga's still free. So now I go in my house, and I'm about to call the police again to tell them like, yo, here we go again. But I said to myself, you know what? Let me be a good neighbor. Let me go knock on their door and give them the heads up that the police are coming. Just put the dog away. Just put the dog on the leash, so when they come, we can just be like, yo, officers, we've handled this like good neighbors should, right? So go ahead, D. So we thought, right? Absolutely. So we thought. So now I'd say to myself, let me go knock on the side door, because the front door where the dog is at and the side door is where they can hear me knocking to open the door. So I knock on the door. No answer. I knock a little harder. Now I get an answer. The door flies open. Why are you banging on my door? Whoa. Hey, sir. How you doing? I'm your neighbor. I know who you are. Check this out. You got your dog, right? This morning for the first time it came at me. So I just want you to know I called the police. I don't give a fuck about that dog. And part of my language, guys, I don't normally try not to curse like that. I don't be this vulgar. Well, I'm trying not to be. If you check the old episodes, I used to curse a lot, but now I'm not. But anyway, the dude is giving me a lot of feedback, right? Like, so, and I'm still, anybody who knows me, I'm still at this point sirring. Right, I'm saying yes, sir.
I would call that more distortion than feedback. But go ahead.
What you mean?
Because that dude.
Oh yeah. No, I was trying to like, and like I said, anyone who knows me, like I was literally begging this man at this point. I'm trying to put my own pride and ego aside, because I'm like, yo, listen, I just want you to get the dog. I don't care what kind of relationship you have to the dog. You live in the house where the dog resides. That's all I know. And he keeps telling me over and over again, I don't care about you or that dog. And it's my daughter's dog. So I'm like, okay. At this point, I don't care whose dog it is, bro. I just need you to get it. I'm letting you know this because it attacked me this morning. The final straw in the conversation was he was going to back and close the door. So in order for him to close the door, he would have to pull in the door. So I had to step out of the way. He goes to pull in the door and tells me, F you and the dog. So when he went to go close the door, I'm going to be very honest. My sir, stop happening. That sir, it got a little niggerish, right? Like, what you say, nigga? Because at this point, here I go. Like, I've had my measures. Now, I want to be very honest to every man listening to this story. At this point, I'm not saying I'm right for having that switch there, but that's my measure that I've worked to at this point in my life. I've worked myself up until this point in my life to be able to have that level of not going off at that pace. So, as the gentleman is like deciding he's gonna snatch the door closed, he then gives me the finger and closes the door. But now, guess what? The dog heard the commotion between me and him because we're obviously not having this at a low monotone. The dog comes around the corner. Now I'm backpedaling, and I'm telling the guy, like, yo, the dog is now here growling. Get this dog. The dude opens the door again, like, yo, I done told you, I don't care about that dog. I say, yo, bro, the dog is right here bugging. Get this dog. And the dog is going crazy. So I'm like, yo, listen, get this dog, bro. Yeah, I said about 3 or 4 times. So when I'm finally trying to back out of the situation and I'm keeping my eyes on the dog, he closed the door again. Doesn't even care. So as he closes the door, I'm looking at this dog like, all right, if you come, I have to make a choice. So the dog comes. And the choice that I made was to lay that dog down.
No.
Absolutely.
You laid the dog down?
I had to lay the dog down.
Oh my God.
John Wick out here, man.
Yo, you snap.
Yo.
Snap, dog. Right after church? Oh my God. Who your pastor, man? I'm telling you, dog.
He killed somebody, grandmama dog.
Yo.
On Mother's Day.
Oh God, brother,
on Mother's Day.
Wildin', son.
Nah, dog.
Yo, listen, you see what I'm saying?
Yeah, we gotta talk about that, dog.
We can't.
Ain't no way. You
Yo,
can't, man.
So listen. All right. So at this point, obviously the dog is no longer with us, and the gentleman is now screaming, "He killed my dog."
Oh, now he all of a sudden care now, huh?
This ain't your dog, bro.
And then he says to me, "You going to jail? I'm calling the police." First of all, you probably gonna be on hold behind me because I'm already calling him. Like. But what I wanted to say was this. Now, to all the animal lovers out there, you're probably looking at me like, "Oh, he's a savage." And I'll take that card, but you don't know my story, right? You don't know my history with animals. So in my life, I've been bit twice by an animal known as a dog. And guess what? I made a vow to myself that it won't be a third, nor fourth, nor fifth. And trust me when I tell you, I love dogs. If any animal I love the most, it would be the dog. But I want to let you know at the same time, my love for my dog or animal does not outweigh my own love for myself. So that's what I just wanted to say to the animal lovers out there, or whatever networks or organizations that will come at me for this. I just want you to understand. And to Jervis' point, what kind of dog? It wasn't the kind of dog. It was the way the dog was kept, or the lack thereof. So the question was presented to me, and it was a justified question after the situation had occurred. Why didn't I just, worst case, kick the dog, right?
Or manhandle that John real quick. Like.
Right. But say, check this out. The truth is, I'm an uninsured entrepreneur currently, right? That's the truth. Now, if I got bit by that dog who is unkept, who drinks water out of puddles, who literally hasn't been taken care of. I've been here for 2 years. The dog's been washed once.
Mm.
So you want me to be able to take the opportunity or the risk, the chance of being bit, that now I have to go foot the bill for a tetanus shot or whatever kind of shot necessary because that comes behind this? I think not. I think I'm not gonna put that financial stress on myself or my family if I don't have to. Now, any other dog, trust me when I tell you, we could have got it in, right? If I'd got nicked by a different dog or another one, it that wouldn't have been a problem.
Yeah.
But what I'm not gonna do is, like I said, put myself in a line of danger, or even my kids. Because think about this, fellas. This what my real anger was after processing my emotion of what my anger came out of the situation was. My anger was you didn't care if it was my kids outside, right? Like that was my anger. Like you didn't care if it was my child because that was my only beef. Because me personally, as we can see, I can handle my own. Like either way about it. It's the thought process of my kids coming outside and having to deal with this without me present. That's a whole different ball game that we truly understand as fathers on this platform of where it goes if it's our children and not us dealing with the physical damage.
Mm.
It's a lot. Really,
Right.
it's really a lot to really unpack, as they say, to
Yeah,
this
it is.
story. So we have to understand that this is a black man that's just fired a shot in today's America.
Right.
So we have to really unpack and really see that Dave made the crucial call of saying, we older now, bro. Let's do this thing the right way.
Hmm.
Call the cops.
Right.
The paper trail is what I believe. That and my brother is armed legally. You got a concealed carry permit, which is required in the state of Florida, people, to walk around with a concealed gun. So, and that's it. That's one part of the story he didn't tell was the first thing that the officer that reached there and asked him, he said, "Please tell me
Right.
that you got a concealed weapons permit." He
Right.
said yes, and the officer said yes.
Right. He had a sigh of relief that just changed the whole entire outlook of the situation to him as an officer.
Right.
He's
And
like,
like,
yo, you just tell me you got it. Because first of all, let's talk about that for a second, because that's a very, very important part of the conversation. The encounter with me and the law officials after the shot was fired.
yeah,
Because
let's hear it.
yo, D, we watch a channel on YouTube that I forget the name of it, but where they have a lot of content based about what should happen when you reach.
Yeah, the dude,
They grade
self
The
the
protection,
active
yeah,
self.
active
Yo,
self
Yeah.
shout out to that
protection.
yeah,
channel, man. Active
yeah, they
self
give
protection.
grades, right? They grade the officer and the
Well, I know what you're talking about too,
No,
KB.
it's not that one.
I
It's
know it. Yeah, but
he,
it's not that one though.
yeah,
It's
forward
another
that
one.
to me, please.
Yeah, yeah. Now, shout out to Active Protection, man. It's a phenomenal platform that gives so much information about
Drop it
situations
in the
as
chat.
as such. But once the officers came, right now, my knowledge is when officers arrive, you shouldn't be armed at this point, right? Like you should either, if you have nowhere to go other than the place, take the weapon off of you, unload it, and leave it on the ground. Because when the officers come, they're going to approach you and they're going to ask you, can they pat you down? They're going to ask where the weapon is. That's the first question they're going to ask you.
And
Where's the
you're
weapon?
black, bro.
Word.
That
And as a
that's
black man, you
come on.
want to make sure
They
that
pulled up on
they don't
Tamir
have.
Rice, a little boy, in the open carry state,
Hmm.
and they started letting it go. Less than what 2 seconds for him to, in terms of reaction, they just started letting it fly.
Right. So what you want to do is like off the rip, you want to disarm them mentally, right? Because what happened was also too, and this is a key part of the story too, KB. I'm glad that you even stopped me here because this is really important. While I was on the phone with the dispatch person, I was able to ask her, what should I, because she asked me, do you have the firearm on you? I said, yes, ma'am. What should I do with it? Right? See, I had an opportunity to ask the lady, and what she told me was, stand by, let me talk to the unit and ask them what you should do with it. So in this kind of time, obviously, it's not a crazy situation. So there's time. She had opportunity to put me on hold, talk to the officers that were heading towards me to find out what should I do with the weapon. They told the dispatcher to tell me to leave it in the house at that point. So I left it in the house in the safe. When the officer approached me, I said, officer, I'm not armed, right? Even though the dispatch told me the same information that I told them, but I'm disarming their minds now. Officers, as you stated, the firearm is in the house. I don't have it on me. He said, come on, I got to pat you down anyway. So as I'm going to him, I'm making sure that he sees that my hands are nowhere near my waist, obviously, and I'm walking to him. As he's patting me down, KB just explained, he says to me, please tell me that you are a licensed carrier. I says, yes, sir, I am. That sigh of relief just told me as a civilian that it kind of got real different had I said no, right?
Uh-huh.
It could have got real ugly had I said no or something weird to that answer other than yes. So disarming the officer's mind, giving him a sense of being able to relax the situation. He came and asked me a few questions. I wasn't defensive. I told the truth, right? See, a lot of times things happen and situations happen. We get into our defensive. Like our emotions kick up and we get defensive. There was no need to be defensive in this moment. I was just simply telling my truth. What happened from my angle and my perspective. Everything else.
But another thing you left out too is that you also, like KB mentioned earlier, you had the paper trail. So,
right.
that was another thing you had to the advantage. It wasn't like you just came out and like, no, the neighbor had been legally warned.
Right. No, you're absolutely right about that. And that's important because shout out to you once again for that, because if any part of the situation is different, I might be sitting right now talking about come get me out.
Facts.
Right. If I don't call,
go fund me.
Right.
What do you mean by legally warned though? Like what happened?
Because he filed a report earlier on the way back from the gym.
Oh, okay.
And then,
but the neighbor didn't know about that though, right?
Nah, but he did. But he told him to
had
go fuck
he
off.
been receptive, right?
The neighbor told him to fuck off.
It would have been the issue had he been word.
Okay,
no
so you approached him once, went to church, approached him again after church.
No. Nah, I've only approached him one time.
Okay.
See, the situation with the dog in the morning, nobody came outside, nobody was around. It was just me and the dog. So when I came back from the gym working out with Dave, the dog wasn't there. So it was like, all right, whatever. I'm still making the call. So what happened was when I made the first initial call in the car, they told me I'm too frantic and I'm not going to be at the house. Call us back. So when I got back to the house, I called them. I made the full report when I was at the house at that point. They told me the cop wasn't going to come right away because it wasn't an emergency. So in the midst of all that time, from the time of me making that call to me coming back from church, it was only maybe about 2 hours.
Yeah.
So when I came back to the house and I seen the dog loose again, I'm like, all right, now before I call the cops again, because I was about to call the cops when I got in the house, I said, let me go knock on the door and tell him, like, yo, bro, I've already made a report. Get this dog. You understand? Like
before you call the
that
cops,
type vibe.
Warn them.
Right, because if the cops would have came and he would have had the dog on the leash or in the house, I'd have been like, yo, officer, better. Right, officer, we did our thing. Thank you very much, but never mind. Right?
Do you know this guy? Have you ever had a run-in with this guy? It's your neighbor.
I've never because it's just the vibe. Like I have a neighbor that on one side that I talk to every day. It's just a vibe.
Not
like,
that one though.
Right.
Because I was going to ask you, do you think that was a good idea to even approach his crib, like to warn him, rather than just call the cops?
You know what's so crazy, Jerv? Like that's what Dave said too. Dave said that in a conversation with me. He was like, "Bro, you should never ever approach."
Right.
Because of the potential of who they are. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like the vibe that they give off. But the truth of the matter is, I just thought to myself, as a good person, right? You know what I'm saying? Like,
'Cause,
Yeah.
I actually agree with you, Rod, on this one. Like, before I take it up to this next level, or whatever, let me approach you as a
As a
courtesy, because I would
right,
like a courtesy.
right,
You get what I'm saying? But I
Right.
get what you're saying in terms of the people, but I'm gonna still give you the common courtesy. I'm gonna go the extra mile. So therefore, when I have to go my extra mile, you're not wondering why the hell you took it so far. I came to
Right.
you. You
and
know what I'm saying?
it's funny. It's funny we got to that topic because me and Jerv were discussing that earlier today. We were like, it'd be great if you do what Rod did. Hey, look, this so and so is about to happen. Like, to prevent this, just can you do this? And I was and Jerv was saying that people should do that. And I told him people don't have the social skills to do that.
mm,
That's not an easy thing to do.
Yeah, I agree.
Right.
Like it's like for you to be like, to expect somebody like, tell you like how you feel, like, nah, that's not gonna happen. Some people don't do that.
right,
Some
Yeah.
people can't do that. They can't express themselves. Some people don't know how to do that. And Jared was like, nah, but they should. I go, yeah, in a perfect world, but people don't have to tolerate people.
Yeah. And I didn't want
Like,
it to be a world where
right,
we scared to go up to people
Yeah,
based on what might happen or whatever like that, because we start going into a whole different type of society, whereas though we should be comfortable going to your neighbor and being like, yo,
fact.
neighbor, boom, 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 what's going on? Boom, 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 like, and just discussing it like that. But nowadays it's like
people don't like being told. Oh,
they
who the
don't.
hell are you
Yeah,
think? You think you come
Yeah.
over here
and
just
it's
tell me
and
something about my dog? Like,
here's
like,
the
Right.
other
damn, bro,
thing.
what happened to decency?
Here,
right,
you know what
Exactly.
I'm saying? Like, which I completely agree, but we got to also look at it, and this is how I see it too. Having the cops being called on me before, as a black man, calling the cops on another black man could be a life sentence, bro. Like,
word,
we've seen it where in Pompano Beach, right, Broward County, where the girl called the police on her mentally ill brother, and he was murdered by the cops. You know what I'm saying? Like, so if you're calling the cops on another black man, you got to be aware of the consequences, because sometimes that calling the cops on that black man, and I'm saying, yes, it might be a very small, very minuscule percentage, but it happens. You
right,
get what I'm saying? And to talk percentage to the person that it happened to, their family member too. You know what I'm
right,
saying? Like, so my whole thing is, I would want my neighbor to come to me before you call the cops. Now, again, after you don't spoken to me, and nothing takes place, then you got to do what you got to do. You got to call the cops and get this paper trail going, which I completely understand. But like you said, Jerv, I'm the optimistic type too. I want
Yeah.
to be able to do that.
right,
Right. Right. You want to feel comfortable doing that because I mean, like you said, you could avoid a whole bunch of mess.
right,
For instance, you can avoid the cops seeing your dog out here, and we don't want to see nobody get in trouble. You know what I
right,
mean? So I'm going up to you, warning you, like, yo, I'm going to call the cops. Your dog is off the leash. If you can get your dog right now before these cops come, everything will be cool. When they come, officer, it's no sweat. My neighbor got the dog.
that's it,
Ain't no problems. We talked it out. It's cool. But when you defensive and when you don't have no type of empathy towards, nobody else,
Or
And
don't
that's
it's
the
want.
it's
problem.
real
People don't
hard.
have empathy. People don't
Yep.
care.
Right.
People
Yep.
only care
Yeah,
about
they
what they
they
care about.
right.
And
They
and and
it's
there's
hard for them to catch the feelings of others and express them. You know what I mean? Everybody kind of is like in the shell nowadays where other people's feelings don't really matter. And I don't know where that came from. I don't know how we got to that point,
yeah, like there's no
but
decency.
it's bad. It's bad though. We can't even understand each other. We can't even express each other's feelings. And that's what to what you said in the story about the 911 operator, how they acted on empathy. Yo, okay, I know what's going on. Let me calm down, go do that, come back. It's almost like they've been through that situation before and they trying to tell you how to how
Maneuver.
to walk through
right,
it. Because if those 911 operators didn't have a little bit of empathy in them, they wouldn't be able to help you at all. Even the
Right.
officer that came to help you, if he didn't understand the situation and understand where you was coming from, he wouldn't have been able to help you at all either. So I think empathy, which goes with the emotional intelligence, is a real good trait to have nowadays. If that neighbor would have had a little bit of empathy, his dog probably wouldn't have got put down. You know what I
Yep.
mean? If he was able to understand your feelings and express to each other what y'all,
Because what stopped that from happening, Jer, really was I obviously you guys know I have no problem with expressing or saying what happened. I would have had the time to tell him like, yo, I have a fear of being bit again. Like I've been through this before. And not only that, like beyond that, I got 2 kids like that literally come outside and hop in the car when they want to. Like we can go outside and just get in the car and go. Like we'll just come outside, take garbage out. Any moment my kids can bust that door up and go outside.
right,
So I didn't want that to be the topic of conversation. So I figured in a world where it's we can have a conversation, right? Because
right,
I'm in that point in
Not that
time,
kind of
seriously,
world.
I'm not asking you for
Yeah.
your empathy, right? In that moment, in that instant, I'm not asking for empathy in that point in time. What I'm just asking you for is common courtesy. Like this belongs to you. Get this.
right,
The learning experience I think could come from this is we have to learn to read the room a little faster.
Mm-hmm.
So we go, we knock on the door. Hey, I'm your neighbor. Your dog, blah 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 blah. F that dog. That dog ain't for me. Da da da. Cool.
Right.
And yeah, you know what I'm saying. Like, so we could if there's a learning experience in that, we could learn to read the room a little quicker.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
right,
because if we was to remove or read the room a little better, you know what I'm saying? Like, we wouldn't have this episode Beware of Rod. You know what I'm saying? Like, or Roder-Wick. You know what I'm saying? Ooh, that's a good one. Like Roder-Wick, but Rod
right, Rick.
Wick. Rick.
Right,
Oh,
Rick.
John Wick, Rod
Yo,
Wick.
listen now I
We
gotta
might be
find
onto
a
something,
Wick,
thumbnail for
bro.
this
We might
episode
be
Word.
onto something.
with Wick on it, right?
But at that point in time, the neighbor did not care about nothing else but
Exactly.
himself. He didn't
Exactly
care
right.
about your kids walking out. He didn't
Nah, but
care
what
about
I'm
your wife might have walked out. Luckily, it was you that, you know what I mean, could handle itself that walked out and actually handled the situation. But and then once things start to happen, then all of a sudden people start caring. Once you down the dog, now he started caring. Oh, it's
Oh
my
yeah.
dog. What it always takes for something to happen for somebody to
You
correct,
see how he
you know,
read that? And
situation.
Jerv, I'm
Like,
gonna tell you something. You read that right because it's funny. He came. We went to the gym the following day, also, right? And he was like, "Yo, you know that them people don't ever take care of that dog, don't ever feed that dog, and they actually made a memorial for the dog, and they out there
come
praising the
on,
dog." And I
man.
was like, and it's so
Yo,
funny because you just said that, like you hit it right on the head, Jerv. You wouldn't even hear this.
yo,
You haven't even heard the whole story.
I ain't even
It's
hear
so
none of the
funny because it's like
story.
Jerv.
they ain't care about that dog. Not a day they had it. They didn't care about it. Running around, biting all the neighbors, biting everybody here and there. And then now it died. Now they got this whole
Now
fake
it's
memorial
candles
service
and,
for the
you know what I
dog.
mean, plate wax holders. Like, come on, man.
It's
That's
kind of like family
crazy.
at a
That's
funeral.
crazy.
Yo,
Cause and
listen.
effect,
Yo,
man.
but check this out. I'm glad you brought this up because it was so sad that I had to go from the range of emotions I did that day with that dog. So check this out. While me and Cassie was outside that morning, like as always, we out there in the morning doing our 1-2. I look at the dog drinking out of a puddle, right? I'm watching this dog drink and look for water and lap water up out of a puddle until that puddle's empty and then go to the next. Think about that for a second, y'all. This is rainwater that's seeped into a hole in the ground that has all kinds of stuff in it, and this dog is lapping this up. What do you? This dog is in what? Survival mode.
Right.
So I'm sitting here and every morning I'm watching this dog, right? So I had just said that morning to Cassie, I said it's so sad that this dog has to drink water out of puddles, yo. Like that's sad. Like I had
Right.
just said that morning.
And You know what's something I was thinking about too? That, now like looking in hindsight, I started realizing like, man, you know what? There's a lot of lawyers out here, man. There's a lot of lawyers out here. You know why there's a lot of lawyers? For stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
And sometimes we got to learn how to use the damn legal system that we pay our taxes for. And we need to learn because we need to file these reports because maybe we could have went a different way. You know what I'm saying? Maybe we could have. And maybe now you might have learned and you're going to grow out of this. But next time, like we have to start using the resources that we have because, dog, this is why they have litigation. Because look at what look what motivated that action. You like, damn, bro, if I get bit, I got to go to the hospital. I'm gonna have to pay these damn bills, and
Right.
you know what? Next time we need to be like, yo, you know what? When we do go to the hospital, yo, this is gonna be on this neighbor right here. I got the police report to back that shit too. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like we gotta kind of grow out of this box of like where we start handling it with like the best way we could think of. Like
Right.
sometimes we just really gotta take that step back and soak in. Like
And you know what, D?
we kind of
Because you
gotta.
said that, in a serious note, like the way this could have truly been avoided is us not just living for us. Check this out. Had I months ago said, "Hey, listen, somebody got to do something about this dog," whether it been me call the cops, the pound, somebody, I should have done something about this dog months ago, right? Or someone in
Not
the
let it
community,
build up.
right? That and that is that is the productive way of looking at this. I'm sorry, the proactive way of looking at this, because I'm saying to myself, how could this truly have been avoided? I truly should have called months ago when I witnessed that dog chase a man upstairs. Now check this out. The reason that this all is a story from this perspective is also because of who's seen and witnessed it and told the cops that what happened. So
Right.
the woman upstairs, dig this, the woman upstairs that lives directly upstairs from the people with the dog, she told the cops the exact story, right? So she was on her balcony watching it. I had no clue.
Wow.
So, and what I also didn't know was that that dog chases her kids not just to the stairs, but sometimes chases the kids up the stairs. So she's been told the people downstairs because she's got kids, and if she has kids and she's going through this with her children, y'all know how I feel about my kids. Like,
Yeah.
it's not even going to be one instant. So for her to have numerous, I felt for her. You know what I'm saying? So she told the cops the story, right? He comes down like with this other sense of relief, like, oh, you know what? She gave me the same exact story you gave me. We're out of here. You literally, the cops were in and out of here maybe about 45 minutes.
Bro,
Wow.
you the neighborhood watch.
Case
Like,
closed.
you
Case
talk like
closed.
security of the neighborhood, my G.
Boy,
That
they
just
said,
goes
hold up,
to
that
show
And
man,
I
you.
die for
that
this
man,
shit too.
let that man fire that thing off, and he get to stay home.
Word. Yeah.
He don't even gotta
Yo.
go
But now,
downtown or nothing.
you know, one thing that I want to talk about as well is the aftermath. You know what I'm saying? Like that has to be something that plays in your mind, and I'm pretty sure it's still playing in your mind because we've just witnessed the um, um, emotional unintelligence of this person
Right.
that you just had to deal with, and the entire family almost. There's another part of the story you didn't tell.
Oh
The
yeah.
visit. You know what I'm saying? So, you know what I'm saying? Like, we
Yeah.
now have to worry about them coming back and trying to do something in terms of retaliation.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, and these are things, real things that you have to worry about because even though for real, some people may not feel like, you know, or might have not liked the dog, but they might have felt that you disrespected them.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
That's true.
And people done more for less.
Facts. And
Right.
Dave presented that to me too, KB. So I'm glad you brought that up because Dave asked me when I was talking to him about the situation, and I was just mentally sparring with him about it. He was like, "Well, did you really think about everything that could have possibly happened with this situation, based upon your response?" And I was confident in saying, "Yeah." And he was like, "Yo, did you think about the retaliation?" And this right here, like I said, I'm never gonna say I'm right or my wrong, but it's just me. In this situation or any other situation where I'm defending myself or my family, there's no
Retaliation
question,
got to take a back seat.
right? There's no question in what I'm gonna do and how far I'm gonna go to do that. Now, with understanding, right, with logic and all those things. I did. I thought about it, and while the situation occurred and the police was there, the boyfriend of the girl who owns the dog, sister, right? Like, so it's a little kind of confusing. So the boyfriend of the sister who owns the dog comes to me and approaches me and asks me about the situation. So I had no problem with telling him we had a conversation, and he understood it because the truth was he had just told the sister 2 days ago, "You better get your dog before somebody kills it." He had just told her that. So he felt like he spoke into existence. Those are his exact words to me. Like, bro, I feel like I spoke this up because I just told her this. But nevertheless, I thought to myself, whatever happens behind this, number one, I'm prepared for, right?
Understand.
Because
just in case they're
right,
watching, let them know.
Right. If
I'm prepared for this.
just be understood, it's not a cakewalk. And this is not to sound arrogant or to sound boastful, but if I'm quick to protect myself against an animal, and if you come here looking to harm me or my family, there's no help for you. And so another warning to end this same topic. The officer says to me, "We heard there was shots fired."
Right. I was going to ask you how many shots you let off.
One.
Okay.
And let me tell you something. Why we had that noise?
Whoa!
Yeah.
What was that? What was that? Damn!
Yo,
I can't.
B.
Wow!
Yo, Derb. So check this out. So the officers get there and says like, "Yo, there was shots fired. Like, but we only see one shell casing." So I'm like, "Officer, it was literally just one shot." So he asked me, he was like, "Yo, wait a minute. You mean to tell me this dog was going crazy and coming at you and you only hit him once, and for what I see, you hit him in the head?"
Oof.
Yes, sir. In the warning, all I'm saying is, I'm for my life and my family, I'm not gonna miss on protecting my family or my life. Just letting that be known. I'm not gonna miss. So just whoever's out there, just think about that. But anyway, what happened was about 11:30 that night. We was all cool, calm, chill. The kids are going to bed. Me and the wife is in the room, and my stomach lets me know everything. I'm sitting there saying to myself, I'm a little uneasy. It's about like 10:45. 15 minutes go past, 10 minutes go past, and all I hear is boom. And I'm like, I expected it. It was a slam at my door. The owner of the dog decided to come home, and I guess she needed answers or what have you. So she decided she was going to bang on my door.
At 11:30 at night?
At 11:30 at night. So now let's talk about.
Wait till the morning. No respect. You don't know what you're
No.
doing. Like,
but this is what I'm saying. Because of where I am in life, Jerv, I'm different than who I used to be, right? Like, because there's a part in time of my life where I went outside and be like, "Yo, have you lost your rabbit ass mind?" and went to town. And whoever outside that want to take a part of it could have some. But now I got more to lose, right? I got a family in here. And I'm also a grown-ass man with things to lose now. So, nah, I'm not going to go outside. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to speak through my door. Ma'am, you banged on my door. Let it be your last time. Because if I feel threatened, I'm going to return a loud bang through this side of the door. We didn't hear any more bangs through my door. But what we were doing while the whole time that was happening, I was on the phone with dispatch. "Hello? I need an officer back to my address. Thank you." And while the officer was on the way, I stayed on the phone with dispatch the whole time. And that's something that's key I wanted to point out. While this thing was going on, I'm on the phone with dispatch. And guess what dispatch is doing, guys? Recording the call. So everything that I say that they hear is being recorded. So this is also working in my favor because now not only can she hear me talking, but the woman is so loud and irate outside. All I have to do is put the phone to the door in the office, and it can be recorded.
Right.
So that's what I was doing the whole entire time that it was happening. But shout out to my neighbor, right? Shout out to my other neighbor. Shout out to you, P. You know who you are. Because what he did was, when he heard the knock, the first boom, he came outside. He was like, "Yo, girl, listen, you bugging. Go about your, don't bother this man this time of night, and don't go about it this way." He's just trying to tell her like he's doing it the wrong way, and of course she's irate. So he put himself in the midst of the situation just to calm things down, which I do appreciate. So shout out to you for that. But he also told her and gave her a good warning. And this is one thing we said earlier. Like, there's people in life that come to you and warn you for a reason.
Mm-hmm.
He said these words to her, and it made complete sense to me. If he would do that to your dog trying to attack him, what do you think he's going to do to you if you try to come and break into his house?
Simple.
So, the ending of this entire story is the police came. They gave me another police report. I went to the police station and filed a restraining order. Because if I would have just let that rock and she came and knocked on the door again, they couldn't do nothing to her, because knocking on someone's door is not illegal.
Right.
But now, with the restraining order, if you knock on my door or you come anywhere near me, it's illegal.
Right.
And one thing I want to say is, we got to stop making that seem as if though you're lame for doing that. That's
right.
We have that in our society, as if though that's a sign of being like lame or weak or
we
what
civilians,
have you.
Man. We not no gangsters or nothing like that, man. We civilians. We using the cops. We using fire department. I'm telling on you. I'm snitching.
I'm paying
So let me get that clear. I'm telling. I'm snitching. I'm doing all that. I'm a civilian, man.
It's not even
I pay taxes. Like, I'm not no gangster. No, none of that. I'm calling the boys on you.
I'm a law-abiding citizen and tax-paying citizen. So
right.
They work for me.
Right.
So why would I not call somebody who works for me to handle the situation?
Man,
like,
for
real.
Up.
At this point in my life right now, it's family or God, family, freedom.
Right.
Don't mess with those three things,
right.
Bro. Like, it's a problem. You understand me? Like,
real. You did the right thing.
I love my freedom. I love to be able to go where I want to go, when I want to be able to go, and I love pussy. And if I was to violate anything that could take me away from it, I'm gonna go to some place that has neither of the two. It don't make sense. The cost is
my
too
man
high,
said he needs pussy and pancakes, y'all. Y'all heard that out there?
It's too high.
But that come with
you gotta count up your costs. The Bible says that you gotta count your costs.
Oh yeah. What man? Yeah, right. What man doesn't count the costs before he goes to war, man?
Yo, listen.
But that just come with self-awareness, man. If you don't really know yourself, you're gonna think you something that you're not. You're not gonna use all your resources. You got to be aware, man. If you're not like that, don't play that game, man. Don't think you something that you're not. Humble yourself. Use the resources that you have. You in trouble, call the cops. Right. Use your resources. You having mental health issues, use your resources. Get on Google. You're not too cool to just be sitting there going through something when you got stuff to use. Like, you know what I mean? So you just got to be self-aware. Know yourself. Don't think you one of these videos. You see what happened to Young Thug recently. He just got indicted on a RICO charge. Like, you know what I mean? He's about to be down 25 to life. Him, Gunna, all of them YSL boys is in the penitentiary right now, sitting in solitary confinement. All because, you know, if they really wasn't about that life, why put this music out like that? And then now you all sad in front of the judge. Like, don't do both. You can't play both. Like, which one are you? Are you Jeffrey Williams or are you Young Thug? Like, which one? You can't be both. Because now they're gonna treat you like the one that everybody know you as, and that's Young Thug. Have some self-awareness, man. Don't be like that.
The thing is, they've been telling us for years, especially if you're part of the system, is you have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you in the court of law. Yeah,
Right.
I know that we're fighting it with the freedom of speech thing, but this is not a fight we should fight. Honestly, I, if you're
Yeah.
dumb enough to get on a rap record and provide enough information where they can link you to this murder or to this situation or to this organization,
Right.
you deserve to be where you're going.
What they
Especially if
say, you
you're a
Exactly.
put the
murderer, bro.
quarter in the
I
jukebox.
don't know
Now you
about
got to
you.
listen to the music.
Yeah, I
You know
mean,
what?
Ooh.
Yeah,
I
my
You
like
put the
man
that.
chord
said
in the jukebox, and
in
now
the
you gotta
actor.
listen to that
Yeah,
song.
yeah. My man
Like
said you
that.
put the quarter in the jukebox. Now it's time to listen to that music.
My Jesus.
That's
Listen,
Boy,
let
tough.
me
that
tell y'all something. I said it before, and I'm gonna keep saying it. It takes a second to get in trouble, but a lifetime to get out. Now check this out, y'all. Now check this out. In this situation, right? And like I've heard many people say this, like, yo, in the heat of moments, time speeds up. You're a liar. Time pace doesn't change. You have more you don't want to think, or you don't have the ability to think under pressure. Say that, but the time does not speed up, because in that moment of me either reacting to that dog or making another decision, I had a moment to think. And I thought to myself, if this dog comes and I let off a warning shot, the dog will back up, run off, and we go about our business. But guess what happened when I asked the officer? What would have happened just by chance, officer? What would have been happening right now, currently, had I let off a warning shot and the dog was spared?
Jail.
dude
The
went to jail
officer
for
told me
brandishing a
that,
firearm.
right, because I would have shot a firearm off, not just because in public, right? Discharging a firearm in public, the location of which I fired my firearm is directly across the street from a
From
daycare.
school.
Oh man. Yeah.
So
That's a
had
good
I
level
had I
charge.
not had I went with the thought process of let me spare this dog and just scare him, I'd be in jail right now.
We have that one
Mhm.
case with that lady in Pennsylvania. I believe she
Right.
was in Pennsylvania, where the
The
dude,
man was
she
coming
called
after
the
her, right?
yeah, she called the cops. Dude kept on approaching her. She let off some fire warnings up in the air, and she was sitting in jail for so many days. I
Yeah.
think she had to be I think a pardon had to be written for her, and I could be mistaken stories or whatever, but don't quote me on that. But she was sitting in jail for letting off warning shots. I'm not sure if she was ever sentenced to prison or whatever, but she was sitting in jail, and it became a national story. She was sitting in jail because she let off a warning shots to an intruder in her home.
That's crazy. So
She
one
would have
one
been
thing I
better
want to
off
say is,
killing him.
right. One thing I want to say to everybody out there that's carrying legally, know your law, y'all.
Please.
Right.
Know your state law. Do yourself a favor,
And
because
before you travel,
before
look
you
it up.
travel, right?
Be responsible before you travel. Look it up. You know what I'm saying?
Because the truth is, I like one decision, one 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 decision of saying, oh, maybe you know what, give it a chance.
man, it's people out here. Remember that lady who was traveling from what was it, from Philly over to Jersey or something like that, and she got pulled over. She disclosed that she had a firearm, and because her legal firearm in her state was illegal in the state that she was traveling through, she got arrested.
Mm.
Oh wow. That's crazy.
So yeah,
Mm.
no, if you're
It's crazy.
traveling, please
Be-
know where you're
Please,
going and know the laws of where you're traveling through. Not just to where you're
yes.
going, but where you're traveling through.
We got
Yeah.
websites for that. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? Like,
Yeah.
and I forget the
And
actual word for it, but it starts with the
something I
O.
like to bring up. Something I like to bring up is like really like get your social skills on point so
Oh,
you
I
know
was
when
just
you're
about to go
talking to
there.
people, when
I
you
was
know
just
you
about to
talking
go
to
there.
people, like you just gauge them. Okay, look,
Right.
man, I can't have a conversation with this person. This is
Yeah.
not gonna go well. You
No.
gotta
Right.
have to start learning to remove yourself from the situations because there's certain things that not everybody's built to tolerate, man. Some
That's
people
true.
just they're just not about that. It don't matter how easy it is for you. For them, it's just not that easy. And
I think I got a pretty good grasp on that.
yeah, like
I've learned
you wanna
no,
get somebody the benefit of the doubt, but it's not worth it.
no. Here's
It's
the
Mm.
thing.
just
What
it's
I've learned, for real, I learned that when I'm speaking to someone, am I arguing with them to move them from their point to my point, or are we just arguing just to be arguing? You know what I'm saying? Like now, if we're having a debate and you're 100% absolutely know where you're moving, and I'm standing 10 toes down in my position, I'm not moving. There's no point of us having this conversation.
Right.
You're absolutely
Exactly.
firm on what you believe, and I'm absolutely firm
What's
on
the
what I
point?
believe. Now, if I'm debating with someone and we're both throwing out some points and we're both like,
Engaging.
that's listen,
Mhm.
that is, to me, that mental spa is what it's about. You're
Right.
sharpening each other's swords. You know what I'm saying? So
Yep.
you gotta again recognize, and just as Dave was saying, recognize through the conversation. You know what I'm saying? Like, be emotionally intelligent enough to know what this is, where this is leading, and depart
Exactly.
from it if you need be. Run.
You want to remove yourself from those situations. Like, just the best way to prevent it is just being able to read that room, like KB said. That's like that's very important, man. Read it, remove it, remove yourself from them situations.
Bro.
Because
Right.
And like just for the rule of thumb, right? There's nothing wrong with removing yourself from a situation. Like, we gotta stop letting our egos and our pride be what the answer is to our problems. Because truthfully is, like we say all the time, like there's so many men who would, if you would just realize like, yo, it's not that serious, right? Like, it's not worth my energy. They still be here, right? I got a homeboy right now, and he'll be remain nameless for just his identity's sake. That I wish, sit behind bars right now, that I wish he would have just used his thought process.
Self-regulation.
Hmm.
And honestly, it's more about his awareness of himself. Because truthfully, yo, what I've learned is this: the more I learn about me, the more I know about y'all.
Mm.
Check that out. The more I learn about me, the more I know about y'all. Because the truth is, we all have the same wiring, right? When it comes down to how we're built the same way. We have the same emotions, right? We all go through the same things. So if I truly learn about myself, I have no other choice but to know about you. So I said all to say is this: had my man just known his own level of the ability to deal with a situation, he would have been able to say, you know what, I'm not gonna go to this situation. I'm not gonna be a part of this, because he would have had the awareness to say, this is gonna cause me to be somewhere emotionally that I have no business.
Mm.
Where for myself, I called Dave in that moment, right? We drove over that part of the conversation. But check this out. When I was at my maddest, and this is a part of my emotional intelligence and my emotional growth. And my maddest, I'm trying to calm myself down. Once I recognized that I was not able to self-soothe myself in that way that I needed to relax and think clearly, because my thinking was fogged. Like I'm not myself. I'm so angry that I'm volatile at this point. So what do I do? Do I act on that impulse? Do I go off the hinge and say, you know what, I'm angry, so now everybody got to deal with my anger?
Right.
Or do I say, yo, you know what? I have another way to manage this. I know how to do what? Transfer or
For your
transmutate
energy.
this energy
That was good.
for my good, right? Because we talked about this last week, the law of polarity. For every one side that's bad, it has to be its opposite and equal good. So this situation, yes, it made me that angry, but guess what? I got a hell of a workout in that day, right, Dave? We had a phenomenal workout. Well, he might not feel that way because it hurt.
Dan sure did.
Yo.
But
Relative, homie.
right, but 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 the truth is, yo, for that bad reaction, I thought to myself in that time, how can I get myself from the state that I'm currently in back to my normal thought process, back to my normal state of being, where I can think clearly and be able to use the situation and maneuver through it the right way. And because of my team of people around me, and this is another a key point that I want to drive home, because of the team around me, y'all. See, I could have got on the phone with a bunch of knuckleheads, right? I could have called one of my homies and like, yo, listen, son, this dog just came at me. Word?
Yo, put some chicken wings around the back real quick, and when he come, we gonna put him in a sack.
Hey, yo,
Now we got a
Wait a
kidnapping charge,
minute.
right? Like,
Damn it.
now we got a dog
Nah,
napping
bro.
charge. Wait a
Dave
minute,
might be
like,
Robert McCall, bro. If you trying to wait, he might be Robert McCall, bro. That came out the bag too quick. Like,
yo, I'm talking about put the chickens
this
out.
sound
Like, yo,
like this
why
might
do you
be
have
coming
that
from
planned already,
experience,
Dave?
like-
I just want to know, like, why do you have that planned already?
man,
Boy,
cops
y'all ain't
gonna
never
be-
been in the
cops gonna
country.
be
Y'all
listening to our
gotta
lyric, you
catch
feel
one
me?
of these damn animals. You gotta leave a little trail, some bait, boy. Ooh, don't worry. When the zombie apocalypse come, y'all just follow me.
Yo, I got
Peter,
you. I'm definitely gonna be behind you.
Please don't come after us, please, Peter. We love
For
the
real.
animals here, please.
Love
Word.
it,
Leave us,
You hear me?
leave us be. Word. Because not the truth of the matter is, if y'all, and this is to the animal people of all agencies, had you guys seen the way that they weren't taking care of that animal, you would have came and taken the animal away, and that's the flat out truth. Because every single time, the KB, you said it earlier, the backlash of this entire event, also people don't think about is my mental health after it. So you guys don't think that I have to watch that mental
Absolutely.
picture of me shooting that dog every day? Like, I had to discharge my firearm. People don't think about, like, that's not an average thing that you have to do.
Facts.
Like, taking any kind of life is a traumatic event, yo. See, we get so caught up in justifying animal person. Yo, I took a life. You understand what I'm saying? Like, and all week long, I've been on the phone with my mentors and my therapist talking about this. Why? Because it's a part of the journey. All this stuff is a part of that incident. And what I want to say is, you can't be too cool, like Jerry said earlier. You can't think that, oh, you too tough or you too much of a man to go through these emotions and process these things. Because trust me when I tell you, you don't want to have to go through something, not process it the right way, and then later on lash out because you didn't. Because I've been there too. Been there, done it, got the t-shirt, and I hate it. So I hope that out of all this conversation we just had about this entire incident, and trust me when I tell y'all, like, I'm still dealing with it.
Facts.
By no means am I a killer, an animal killer, or anything of that nature. It's not an easy thing to take no kind of life. And even in this moment of me talking about it, I get emotional because I didn't want to do it. If you check the chain of events of the entire the process, I was trying to avoid that one situation that happened to occur. But
here's my motivation to you, though. You know what I'm saying? Like, I want my firearm to be the worst investment of my entire life. Only
Right.
because only because I don't want it to be the best purchase of my life.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So
Mhm.
in that case, in that instance, you know what I'm saying? Like, it paid for itself a couple times over. You know what I'm saying? Like, I really want that this firearm to be the worst investment of my life. I'd never want to have to use it, bro. Ever.
Exactly.
it's a
But
difference.
you know what I'm saying? But if it only because, again, I don't want it to be the best investment that I have to take somebody's life or have to take something life to protect me or mine.
Right. And that's
So that's my
the
last words, bro.
that's the key I wanted to drive in, y'all. Like, don't be afraid to defend yourself, but understand how to do it the right way. That's just, I just want to leave that out there at the end of it,
Facts.
because I don't want people to feel like now I'm in this mental space where I'm down on myself. No. I had to deal with myself, the mental process of me discharging a firearm on a living, breathing thing, and process those emotions. But there is no sadness in my heart, and I want to be clear about this. There is no sadness about my decision. I'm not sorry about it at all. And I just wanted that to be known, like it happened for the chain event and the reasons it did. And because of that, I'm standing here today completely free of all kind of charges, and I'm a free man. So I appreciate the law, and I'm gonna continue to abide by it. And I pray that all of us kings out there learn to do the same thing, operate within it, know your rights, and do the right thing by yourself and your family, man. So, fellas, y'all can give y'all last ones, man.
Yeah. Basically, guys, gauge your social skills, man. Make sure you check some boxes before you step into situations, man.
Right.
Like, don't deal with people that don't got nothing to lose.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
Right.
do not
Right.
deal with people that don't have nothing to lose. Remove yourself from situations that sometimes by proximity you around people that don't have nothing to lose.
Right.
You find a way to skate out of that, man. Find a way to, like, you got to get out of that. Just, be aware of your social environment, man. Make sure you keep yourself around people that got something to lose. Because when you stay around people that don't have nothing to lose, they're going to suck you into some real, real bad situations that are just so dumb that they're difficult, and you just want to stay away from that, man. And just, keep your social skills on point, because remember, at the end of the day, we got kids to get back to. We got families that we got to keep providing for. So be aware of your social surroundings so you can keep your emotions in check.
Right.
And just to add on to something real quick, people who don't have nothing to lose really all suffer from one fatal symptom: don't give a fuckism. So, that right there by itself will let you know if they don't care nothing about themselves, they absolutely give nothing about you.
Right.
Exactly. And know who you are. If you know you're not about that life, and you know you wasn't raised doing that, don't try to be cool to nobody else to prove nothing.
Right.
Stay in your lane. Know who you are. Use your resources. Call the cops. Ask for help. Call the number. Use your resources, man. It's not okay to just sit around and let things happen. We got to get out of that mind frame, man. So those are my last few words.
Yo, man. Fellas, fathers, listen. We had to do a part 2 to this only because, like I said before, majority of the time what we speak about, I'm tested on during the week. And I appreciate that, right? Because it keeps me on my toes, it keeps me growing. And I want this to be known to every gentleman out there that my mentor told me this week. And he had to remind me that just because you have a high emotional intelligence, right, that also does not mean that every situation is going to turn out in a peaceful manner. There are times that violence is necessary. So what I'm going to say is, kings, there is nothing more dangerous than power that's controlled. Control your energy, control your power, guard it, use it the right way. Protect yourself and your family. That is your duty. That is your job. And kings, until the next time we meet, don't forget, to the world, you're just a dad. But to your family, you're the world. Don't let that go over your head. It's the realest thing in the world. So, until the next time we see you, be good to yourself and the ones around you. And if you can't be good to the ones around you, just get the folk from around you. Yo, it's your boy, RJD, the Imperfect Gentleman. And this has been another dope episode of the Imperfect Fathers Podcast. Y'all be blessed. We will.
Out of there.